Mm. Hello, Claire.
Morning.
All right. How many people?
How you doing?
What's up, Mr. Booker?
All right, how you?
All right. Yeah, I ain't had a chance to grade them programs yet. You did them? You did my header file?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Any questions? You have any questions?
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Professor, you
Oh,
You good, honey. You good first. You good first.
okay. Mr. Sylvester, I tried taking your test, but it wouldn't let me take it for some reason. It kept on making me put in a password or something. But I sent you an email and a screenshot of what it was giving me every time I tried to take it.
Right. I saw that. I was at my son's game last night and I came back. I didn't check my emails till this morning. And I said I was gonna meet the class with the class. Did you try reloading the Proctorio?
Yeah, I did. I did that. I cleared my cookies and cache or whatever, but
Cash.
yeah, I resetted my computer and everything. For some reason, it just wasn't working.
Did you, like I say, you logged, well, you say you reset it, but when you went into Canvas, did you try to go through that three-step thing to stage to get Proctorio added to your browser?
It didn't even show me anything like that. Like it just showed the front screen of whenever you
Right.
open and it didn't show anything like that. It just showed a large blank white screen, and then when you scroll down it says start quiz. So it didn't show anything like that.
Did you go to Proctorio? I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, the website.
I have Proctorio on my computer.
I know on mine, I don't know for whatever reasons, sometimes I have to reload it, because when I go to the test, it'll have that is a white triangle with orange background, and I have to go back and do the install. I don't know why it does that. It could be something dealing with security or whatever. I don't know, but I know I have to keep reinstalling it. Now, let me see something. I tell you what. Let me do this. Let me go. Well, I may have solved it when I went the last time. Let me see something. Because I think that might be something too. If on my end it's not registered through Proctorio, then you can't really go into it. So, and I know this morning from my other class, when I posted a test, I had to go back and load Proctorio. Well, let's see something. I'm gonna go to the test. Let's see. That's test 4. It was test 4.
Yeah.
Let me do an edit. Right. And let's see. I don't want to do it. If you try it now, it's gonna say out of it won't give you an opportunity, right? Let's see. I'll just do it right quick. Let's see. Test. Because you didn't take it at all, right?
Yeah, I didn't take it at all.
All right, let's see something. Let me see something. That's Miss what? What's your name?
Callaghan.
Callaghan. Okay, Callaghan. So what I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna remove it. Callaghan. Let's see. Okay. And what today's date is? 20th. Done. See, can you click on it now and see what happened? Wait. Okay, try it and see what happens. But it's gonna take away an attempt. But what I'm gonna do next week, I'm gonna add an extra attempt for everybody to take any test that or quiz that they need to take over. You know what I'm saying? Another time.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to open it right now.
Yeah, try and see what happens.
I don't know if it's gonna let me, like, if I try to, like, you want me to try and see if it like lets me take it, is what you're trying to see?
Right. Well, see if you're gonna get that same error.
Well, okay, wait, I'll try.
Right. Don't worry about just go into it.
Yeah.
And that'll just be one attempt.
Yeah.
Did it let you?
Um, yeah, it's letting me do it now.
Right. And it might be something on my end where once my side drops, then nobody can take it, So I'm gonna have to keep track of that or something. So you can just get out of it and like I say, I'll open it up where you have the 2 attempts next week to go ahead on and take the test.
Yeah, I don't think it used my attempt. Like,
Okay, that's good then. That's good. That's good. Just exit on out then. And like I said, I'll post some, make them available next week before finals, where you can take all the tests.
yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. All right. So that might be something on my end. Anybody else? Question?
Yeah, Professor, I was wondering if you finished grading the Chapter 4 program stuff.
No. I don't think I started, man. I had a busy week, man. But
You're good. Look, man, I was just wondering because, like I said, I mean, I know we can like alter the grade with and change it from that 0 that it's in there, but I just want to know what my grade is going to be.
right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. But last week, man, I had a rough week. My truck went down. I got to try to get me another one. The one that's coming in gonna be a couple of weeks from now. So I'm using somebody else's vehicle. Trying to get the other one running too, though, because I'm gonna just give it to my son. But yeah, like I said. And it's coming to the end of the
season. Sounds like you got a plate. Yeah, look, man. Yeah. Look, I was just wondering. You good though? Don't rush. Yeah. Look, don't rush.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get them done though. Let me look. Let me see. Let me go to grade. Well,
basically, I just want to make sure they're like okay, I guess.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because somebody that said something about solo learn too asked me to reopen it because they didn't do whatever.
Don't we have? Doesn't the next one do on the 26th or the 27th?
What, solo?
Yeah.
The 26th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. Program 4. Program 4. Okay. Right. See, this should have been the output. Now, I think I saw, I don't know, somebody, and I looked at it. I didn't start grading, I looked at it. You're supposed to input the values, but then once you input them, this should be your output. Whatever was inputted for loan, you should have gave me this information. Insurance, whatever, gas, whatever, oil, whatever, this, whatever, on and on. Then give me a total. Then this was just a monthly total. So to get the yearly total, you have to multiply this time 12 to get this. But then I gave you a condition. If this was greater than $1,000, not equal to, but greater than 1,000, then add 10%. So if this was 995 point whatever, then this would be 0, and then this cost would be here. But being that this is 6,000, which is greater than 1,000, you have to find the 10% of it, print that 10% out, and then print the total. Right. So you had an if statement that went in that. Okay.
Okay.
Right. And here, I think some people was questioning about that. I think Mr. Booker had asked about that, and I told him, I said, the first part looks correct. What happened, I gave you 2 values, but did I tell you to input them? Yeah. Prompt the user to input. So if you inputted 11 and 3, all right, 11 and 3 is what? 14, right? So that should have gave you 14 inches. So you're gonna output this, You're gonna output 11, which was the first one, output 3, which is the second in inches, then your little dash line, which is however you want to use underscore or your dash. I'm not making no big difference in those two. And then what's the total? 11 and 3, like it says 14 inches. Now, then convert those 14 inches into feet and inches. So 14 inches would yield 1 foot, 2 inches. You understand? But you would use your formula, to calculate that. Then you were to give me your metric conversion. Convert the feet in inches or whatever inches into the metric conversion. So if that was 13 feet, but this is 112 inches or 13 inches, 14 inches. So 112 inches converted into meters is 2 meters with 84.4 centimeters. Now, depending on if this was greater than, let's see where we had it here. It says if the distance is greater than 3, all right, 3 feet, convert the total inches into miles. So this was not greater than 3, so you wouldn't have to convert to miles. But if it was greater than 3, what is 3 feet? No, 3 feet. So you have to compare this to see if this was greater than 3 feet. So if this was greater than 3 feet, then you would convert this into miles. All right. Would you convert it in miles? If it's greater than 3, the following 32 inches is equal to point whatever miles. So let's see, I'm reading that right. All right, convert inches to miles. Oh, it's not greater, my fault. I'm missing words. So if this was not greater than 3 feet, this was greater than 3 feet, so you shouldn't have gotten, or you shouldn't have to print what? The miles. But if the distance that the person put in, like we had put in 14, then you would have to convert the inches to miles. Now, class, you might say, well, Mr. Vessel, what's the purpose of what? You can't get the number can't get the miles based on inches. Yes, you can. It might be a small number, but it's still, a fraction of what a mile is. And so, for instance, 32 inches is equal to 0.0000505 miles. So you can calculate it, it's just that it's not something that you would do every day or have a concern about, 3 feet is this many miles, but you can do it. Now, what you would do, or if I was you, what you would do is like, okay, you can go here and say, okay, feet to miles, and then it shows this, but then you can look for the formula. Convert feet to miles. Oh, well, no, you don't want this. You want the actual formula. So you can actually do a formula. This would allow you to check it.
Hey, Professor, you want to share your screen with us?
Oh, I'm not sharing it? Okay, yeah. Well,
No, yeah, I was wondering if you didn't.
That's on me. Yeah, that's on me. We started talking and I forgot. All right.
Oh,
so
good.
what I did, feet to miles here, but then the formula, feet to miles, and see what here, it'll tell you, well, it should have, look here, miles is equal to feet divided by 5 point whatever. 5,280. So you can go online and search to find out how you can convert it. You got what I'm saying? So you may have to do a little research, but it can be done, right? It can be done. All right. So that's how that was to be done. So that was that assignment. All right. And the next one, so you had an if statement in that one. If whatever was greater than 3, if the 3 feet, then convert. But also another thing I think some people miss out on is this. Let me go back. when I wanted you to do this metric conversion, I wanted you to get the meters and centimeters. Because once you get the meters, you may have some left over. And just like with inches, once I find the feet, there may be some inches left over. So you got to, tell me what inches are left over. And just like here, if you got meters and you have a certain percentage left over, you got to know how to calculate that. Like there might be 2.8 meters. So then you'd have to take the 0.8 meters and convert to centimeters because it's not a whole meter. You understand? So you have to understand how to, and what was what. This was more or less dealing with a little bit more math or whatever, but you could get it done. All right. The next one, now this one, I saw some people what they did. I told you using the values 2.82, and what it was the other one, 2.82, 5, and 2.2. All right. So no, 2.2. All right. So what happened is some people, they just use 10 and whatever. But I gave you the value to use, like say in this example, it say, using 2.82, if the number entered is between 10 and whatever, add 5, add 5 to the decimal value, all right? All right, so this 2.2 plus 5. This should have been 2.82 plus 5. You understand? So, then it says if it's between 19 and 30, okay. B, this add it to the value. Then it say add 10 to the decimal value. All right, 2.82, which would give you 28.82. So that would give you 30.82. And then if it's between 19 and 30, all right, then add 100. So that would be 128.82. All right. And I know some people, they just added 10, they added whatever, or added to the value that was inputted. But, that's what I wanted. And say once computed, I'll put all on one line, the number entered and the code entered for, to complete the computed the value, all on one line. So I don't care how you did it, if you broke it down in COUTs or whatever, but you don't do an inline until the very last output. Everything on one line. That's how I wanted it. All right. So that was the output. So this one had multiple ifs. You could have used the you probably have to use the and or in here, right? Because here you got if the number is between, so that's if it's greater than 19 and less than 30, all right? Because it's between these numbers, not including these numbers, all right? So things like that. So those were some of the things I'm going to be looking for when I grade the assignment, all right?
Hey, Mr. Sylvester, I have a question. It's kind of off topic though. I just was able to hop on. I don't know, the Zoom meeting app I was having trouble, but I don't know if you saw my message. I had trouble accessing the test last night.
Right. Miss Callaghan had the same issue. Right. What I'm gonna do? You still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna next week. I'm gonna open up all the tests and all the quizzes. I'm gonna give everybody an extra attempt. If you didn't take it, you're gonna have the 3 attempts. But if you've taken it twice, then you're gonna have another attempt to get a higher grade. Okay. So next week I'm gonna open up all the tests and all the quizzes. So you would have that opportunity then, all right? And hopefully, like I say, because I think from what we looked at, it might have been something on my part, because my previous class, I at 10 o'clock, I opened up a test form, but before I opened it up, I had that the symbol saying that my proctorio wasn't loaded. Yeah. So I loaded it before I did the test. And so when I opened it for Miss Callaghan to test it just now, it worked. So it might be something on my end, where it keeps dropping.
It did that to me last night too, where it said like my Proctorio wasn't working or it needed an update. But
Right.
looked at the which one I had and it was up to date. So then
Right.
I tried deleting like all the cache, the cookies, because I think it worked like that last time.
That's what she did too. Yeah.
Yeah, it did
And it's
that work, and I tried like using it in another tab, like an incognito tab. It didn't work.
right.
So I was like, okay, maybe it is,
Right. I
not-
think it's on my part. But I'm gonna tell you, and like I said, I don't want you to be lackadaisical about it. But you could ask anybody who's taken my class. I'm not a stickler on, oh, Mr. Vest, I didn't take my test. Oh, well, you can't take it. Zero. I'm
Yeah.
not that type teacher. You
I
you
like-
come to me, Mr. Vest, hey, such and such. I'm gonna try my best to do everything I can to assist you to take the test. Unless you're a person that, just repeatedly all semester, then
Yeah.
then I'll be like, well, wait a minute, you've been doing this all semester, what's going on, whatever. But
Yeah.
man, look, don't and the reason why I said don't stress your week or your weekend out when something like that happens. Because I know some students, man, they get frantic,
Yeah.
and all nerved up, then they can't do any other work or whatever. Don't do that. I don't want students to do that. Just like I say, reach out to me. So I got the message. Oh, you did try it or whatever. And then when we meet, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this way. And normally we just move on. So just don't stress out, man.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Oh yeah, I got a question.
What you got? I tell you.
I know I asked you this question last week, but I didn't understand fully what you wanted us to do for it. You said it was okay.
On what?
It was the resume. Resume.
Oh yeah, but I told you to go ahead on and just submit me your resume.
You wanted like the actual resume, or you wanted a screenshot of that it got approved?
Well, I like the actual resume because I don't want to have to scroll through a screenshot.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah, just send a document. Yeah, as an attachment. Because I think what I did, I made it a submission.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
But how do you know if it's approved or not if we just send you?
Oh, it don't matter. Because like I said, it's too late in the semester now anyway. Because you said it took so long for them to get back to you.
It did.
Right. So all I want you to do is go through the software, though. If you can go through the software, create your resume, because that way you're creating it based upon your major and whatnot. You got me?
Yeah.
And so do it that way. And then once you do it that way, and whatever you submit to them, submit it to me too. Because I don't know if it should be in a document form too.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Professor, about the bonus real quick, by the way, I went to go try to do it and everything. And I know you said we just have to create it, obviously, because it's too late to get them to approve it.
But create it in their software.
Yeah, I can't even get past. I can't even do anything. It says I don't have an account.
Right, but create one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see what's going to happen. Once you create that account, it might ask you your major. It might ask you experience. So it might ask you, and Miss Callaghan probably could tell you a little bit better. It might ask you general questions so that they can fit you in the right, kind of resume category. You got what I'm saying? And then from there, then what happens is any announcements, they got your account. Boom. Whatever, so a company come by, say we need 3 employees for whatever, they're reaching out to you or they sending you email. Right. So you have to have it created first.
Okay, I got you. Thank you, Professor.
All right. Yeah. Anybody else? All right. So those are the 3 programs, and that's the things I'm going to be looking for in the program. Like I say, headings, I'm not really worried about heading, but I do want you to make sure spacing and whatever, numbers are not close to words and all this and whatnot. So I want you to still kind of keep those things in mind when you're outputting your data and reading in data, to be conscious of that. All right. Any other questions? All right. So let's get to the notes. All right. So in the notes, we talked about loops. We talked about the for loop. We talked about the while loop. On that loop part, remember when I said you could increment that loop, and I really didn't. I didn't have the format for it. Check this out. And the only thing I think I did wrong was I added a semicolon at the end of my increment. You don't put a semicolon. So for int, like I say, if I do int x equals 0, x less than say 10, x plus plus. Now what that'll do, and I'm gonna do I normally just do the curly braces, your body, but you didn't have to if I just do one line. If I do C out and I'll just do a C out up here. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, then here I'll do C out /T if I can get to it. Just to tab it over, and I'll do X. And so we'll see what the value of X is. All right. And then I'll just print out something. /T BRCC. And then inline. All right. So now we know, looking at this, I'm gonna go from 0 less than 10. So how many times will this loop process? Anybody? This loop will process 10 times. It will go from 0 to 9 and kick out at 10. All right? Because I'm saying less than 10, not equal to 10. Oh, wow. I didn't even print out X. My fault. Okay, print out that. And now I want to print out X. All right, now here we go. Take this off. All right, so I'm gonna print out X. What's this? This is right. That's right. All right, so debug it. And it should print out from 0 through 9. All right, 0 through 9 is 10. 1 through 9 plus the 0, that's 10. So as increment by 1. Now, if I do something X plus 2, no, not plus 2. I could do plus equal 2. Now, this is short for X is equal to X plus 2, right? Same difference. So that X plus is just as X plus 2 plus equal. Equals 2 is equivalent to X is equal to X plus 2. So every time through, okay, when X is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2. When X is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. So that's the same thing. So if I run this now, given this, how many times will it print out BRCC? It's gonna go from 0 to what? We'll go from 0 to 8. It's gonna go 0, add 2, 1, add, well, add 1, add 2. It'd be 2, add 2, 4, add 2, 6, add 2, 8, add 2, 10, kicks out at 10. All right, so let's debug this and see what it gives us. All right. See, adding by 2. You see what I'm saying? X plus equal 2. So you can take a loop, a for loop, and make the increments jump by 2 or by 3 or by whatever increments you want. Say if I do it by 3, then now we're gonna go 0, 3, 6, 9 and kick out. So it'll do this loop 4 times. 0, 3, 6, 9. All right, so we debug it. See here, 0, 3, 6, 9. Next one is 12. 12 is not less than 10. It kicks out. All right. So that's how you can actually manipulate this here where you don't have to just do one increment, x plus plus, where that means x is equal x plus 1. All right. So any questions about that? Any questions? All right. Now we're gonna look in the program, not the program. We're gonna look in the notes and see how there's different ways you can write your for loop. All right. So all this is showing that. Let me add this. And then, all right. Why is it saying this is wrong? It's not an error. Like I say, take that under consideration. This you will, if you put this in the code, in your code, this is not an error. But if you wanted this loop to iterate 10 times, well, not 10 times, it will not. It'll go 1, then they're gonna go 2, then 3, then they're going 4, then 5. So what happening is, what they're saying is wrong because you actually adding 2 to X each time you're going through. So that's why it's saying that this is wrong. The way you're stepping through the loop is wrong. All right. But the syntax, hey, that's valid syntax. All right. Oh, look here. This is that expression. See, num plus equal 2. So that's how you can make it jump by 2, by 3, by whatever. You can even go from 10 to 0 or greater than equal to 0 by using num minus minus. So you go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, then kick out at -1. So like I say, that's why your math skills come into play, where you understanding greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, increments, decrements, etc. Right? So you got to keep that in mind. So look here. Look what they did here for num equal min number. So now all of a sudden, we don't have a constant value here. Whatever min number is, we're going to take that number, and that's our starting point. And then num less than equal to max number. So now we're going to take max number, and that's our ending point. But num itself is the increment. All right. So you say, well, what would the importance of that be? Say, for instance, there's string functions. All right. Or say we never got to it yet, but we're gonna get to an array, and we wanted to find or capture or remove a word or take a word from within an array and either put it in another a string or array or an array. Well, what happens is you might want to read until you find a second or a blank in that string. All right. So you're reading the first word, and then when you get to that blank, all of a sudden now where you have for int num equal min num, you might store that value where you found that blank. You might say begin word is equal to whatever your increment was, like if it was X, equal to X plus 1. So now you bump in, if X, the blank space of X, so we read the letter, the word THERE there. You got 0, THERE. Okay, so there's the 0 position, the 1 position, second position, well, 0 position, first, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th position would be a space, or not the 6th position would be a space, would be sub 5. But you want to take the next position because what? The space, you don't want the space. So it would be whatever X plus 1. So you would put 7 into that min number. So now you may want it to go from min num all the way to the end. So now you want to try to read till you get to a blank space. So whatever that blank space is, you might store it in the max val and say, till it's less than max val. And then you do that loop to print that value out of that array. And you're going from that minimum value where you put, where you had that space plus 1 all the way to less than the space. So now you done captured that letter. That's just talking it out theoretically, but to code it is a little more complicated but that's the idea of using where you're using variables rather than using concrete numbers. You know, that would be a way of doing that. If you was pretty much trying to write yourself a word processor that copies text, cut text, paste it, do whatever, you would be manipulating it in somewhat in this type fashion, right? And there's other ways you can do, you know, things. That's just one of the ways. So now, and we know here there's a concrete value or a constant value where this is a variable, less than equal to 10, constant variable. This is just a variable. All right, value. This is a variable. All right. So either way you do it, it works. All right. Creating a user control loop. So what happens here, now we're asking you to enter the number of, like say if you had a test, enter the number of tests that you plan to input for the student. So you could have you could have a value that you want, a max value that you want, all right? So, and then, like, well, if it's tests, you might say, well, you won't have a minimum because you know you want to enter 5 tests because what 0, 0, 0. But in this, it says, okay, I will display a table of numbers. So what they're doing, they're saying, okay, enter a starting number. So what number you want to start when you want to output your table at? Like say, here they had a table, they started at 6. And I think that was a sample program we did early in the semester. So they're going to start at 6 and they're going to stop in this program at 12. But what they're going to do each time going through, they're going to find the square of that number. All right. So 6 squared, 7 squared, 8 squared, all the way to 12 squared. So what happened? They put in 6 for the starting number for in min num. They put in 12 for the max num, and they're going from num equals 6 to num less than or equal to 12. And then they increment by 1. And each time, okay, num 6, and then 6 times 6 is 36. Increment num, you get 7. Okay, 7 is less than or equal to max num. So you print 7, print 7 times 7, 49. Increment num, okay, that's 8. All right, 8 is less than max num. All right, so you go through. So you do that up until 12, and then you kick out at 12. So that's one way you can control your loops. All right. Now, the multiple initializations, we looked at that also. Because what happens is I could do int x. This is my for loop. Notice here, x is what's controlling my loop here. All right. Int x. All right. But then what they have also, int y. So for y is equal to 1 and x is my fault. X equal to 1 and y is equal to 1. All right. But so they just initialize x, assign x to equal y to equal 1 within this loop. All right. It's a valid variable, no problem. This is the one that's being used for the test, then that will be using for the steps. We just gave y a value within this. So now when we fall in here, we have a value for y. Okay, so y can be used. Now we could have done it out here too, same difference. But if we do it out here, the scope of that value is for the entire whatever main function or whatever. But if we do it in here, y equal 1 is only used in this scope here. All right. No, yeah, because out here is undefined. Yeah, it's still undefined. In here, it's equal to 1. And where we increment, we're not incremented. So it's still equal to 1. All right. So, and it tells you, see what plus 1, every time it's y is 1, because we never mess with y. All right. But look what they did here. Another example. X equal 1, y equal 1, y plus plus, x plus plus. But you got only one condition, right? You got that one condition here. All right. So you can increment y. Now what happens? Y is incrementing as x incrementing, and you calculating your values. But you got to remember x, the condition x and x. That's what controlling how many times going through the loop. All right. But you can manipulate other things while you're doing that. All right. Omitting the loop expression, all that's saying is outside the loop, if I initialize x to equal 1, then it already knows what, I'm saying x. They're initializing num to equal to 1. So it already knows what num is, starting point. So you can just eliminate it by using that, just a semicolon. It knows that what? You're using num as a condition here, all right, test condition, and you're incrementing. And it's going to take what? Num as 1 and move on. Now, these are just some programming styles, programming techniques that you can use, all right? A lot of times, once you adapt to one, you stick to it. Many times when you get in a for loop, you're going to write out that value here because you're going to want to see. Because what? Eventually, if you start adding lines of code in between these two values, these two lines here, then you might not know where this or what this value is here, or change it, and then your loop start doing something that you may not want it to do, and it's hard, maybe your eyes not looking high enough to find out where it was set to 1. All right. So again, look, a different way. You don't even put the increment, but you got the increments inside the loop. Like I say, now you're almost writing it just like you're writing a while loop, right? Your value, test condition, your increment, all right? But it's all programmer style. Like I say, none of it is wrong, but like I say, some of it can get you caught up in trouble when you're trying to debug or do some things, all right? This pretty much is an infinite loop, all right? No start, no test condition, and no increment. So what? It's just forever gonna print that one thing, hello world, all right? So you gotta watch out for that, all right? Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong, all right? But it won't stop until somebody do an interrupt to break it out, okay? Keeping a running total. I think somebody emailed me about that. Mrs. Vessa, I don't know, and I don't know if it was this class, I think it was this class, but a running total. One of the keys about keeping a running total is simply this. The variable that you store in the total in should be on both sides of the equal sign. Simple as that. To get a running total, both sides, a variable should be on both sides of the equal sign. Look here, total plus equals sales. So what they're doing, each time they're going through that loop, they adding the sales to total. You say, well, but total is not on both sides of the equal sign. Remember what we said, class, this. And I'm gonna just type it here. Remember when we had x plus equal 2, right? That's the same as saying what? X is equal to x plus, okay, if I can type, plus 2. So now what? It's not shown in that fashion, all right? But x equal x plus 2 in its natural form, you see that x is what? On both sides of the equal sign, all right? So this would give you a running tally. So let's do that in here. So if I had this loop and I wanted to get a running tally of x, all right? Of x, but I want to put it in another variable. So I'll say total, all right? I want to find out what the value of total adds up to be when it's whatever and whatever and whatever and whatever. So I'll do int total. So all I need to do is total plus equal x, all right? Or total equal total plus x. So what? Well, now, and I'm gonna tell you something. This is where you run into issues with my programs when you're using online GDB. Online GDB will allow you to run this code here without any errors. A Visual C++ will not. Why? Remember I said online GDB will take this declaration statement and say, oh, total does not have a value. I'll just assign 0 to it. Back in the day, that's what most of the older compilers did. It's like, oh, you can just declare a variable. If you don't give a value, don't initialize it, it's understood that the starting point is 0. All right. But nowadays, the newer compilers, you have to tell it. If I say int total, and then I try to use total on both sides of this equal sign, when I say total is equal to total plus X, it knows that X goes the first time gonna be 0, but it does not know what total is. Total is undefined. All right. So I would have to make this equal to 0. So everybody, when they can say with that program dealing with accumulating that value, right, you have to make sure that you initialize or either assign total equals 0 before you start using it on both sides of the equal. So this will work. So I'm gonna show you, if I do this, I should get an error. It's gonna be like total is undefined. It doesn't have a starting point. It will not say, oh, it's 0, so I'll use it. So see what happens? I get an error. All right. I got an error. See, uninitialized local variable total used. All right. So I would have to come here and say equals 0. And that solves my problem. So when it adds, oh, 0 is equal to 0 plus whatever X is. X could be 100, X could be 0, X could be a negative number. But it knows the values for everything on the right side of the equal sign to sort of solve it. So now when I run this program, you'll see that when X gonna be 0, 1, 2. So it's gonna be 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 7. So it's gonna keep adding the total of total. So watch, I'll print out total to show you. All right, I'll do this. I need to do that. Okay, all right. So I'll print that out. So let's see what happens. I don't want to debug. So look what happens. When X was 0, it came here and said 0 is equal to 0 plus 0, right? Because total was 0 also. But then the next time through in increment X, X is less than 10, which it was 1. So now 0 is equal to 0 plus 1. So I get 1, right? So increment X, X becomes 2. All right, 2 is less than 10. So 1 is equal to 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2, it overrides that with 3. So now you get 3. So you see how it's accumulating the value for total. So when I add 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 all together, I get 45. Okay, everybody see that? So it's almost like, this is almost like a bank statement. Okay, 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. 21 plus 7 is 28. 28 plus 8 is 36. 36 plus 9 is 45. So it's kind of just like a bank statement where as you did your deposits or whatever, it increments it. All right. So any questions about that? Questions? All right. Wait a minute here. All right. So that's how you do your running tally. You got to make sure A sentinel value, we said a sentinel value is what? A value that that's used to trigger something in the computer. Where, like say, if I'm in a loop, I'm gonna read until I put in 9999. Once I put in 9999, kick out. All right. So it's a value, all right, it's a special value that marks the end of a list. All right. So if you look at this program, it says while points is not equal to -1. So what? If somebody is entering the points they got for a game, as long as they putting in a value, it's gonna go back and allow them to input the points again, input the points again, input the points. So when they finish or they say, well, I don't want to input any more points, they put in -1. -1 says, oh, it doesn't satisfy, let me kick on out. So it does it while of certain value. And this the value that triggers it to exit out of that program. So that's what a sentinel value is, all right? So like I say, you may need to use that one day. You're like, well, man, I keep inputting my value, but what I need to do to stop it from whatever? Sentinel value. And whatever you want it to be or however you want it to be done, that's on you. All right. All right. Deciding on which loop to use. All right. So, like I say, it tells you that the while loop, all right, is a conditional loop, which means that it repeats as long as a particular condition exists. All right. So if you got you want to do something while, say while x is not equal to 5, hey, do whatever. While it's less than 10, do whatever. All right, or less than or whatever a certain value, you can do whatever. All right, a do while, you want to perform the body of that while first, the do first, and then check to see if that value, if that expression holds true. But it will perform the code within the body at least one time. Right? For loop, if you know a count, if you know the how many times you want a loop to iterate, you can use the for loop. Now you can use that. You can do the while loop to do that too. But a for loop is more or less designed in a way where you see the starting point, you see the condition, and you see the increments all on one line. All right, but you can still do take a for loop and convert it into a while loop. Nothing wrong with that. Now, nested loops. Now, this is where a lot of stuff get complicated. When you have nested loops, what happened with a nested loop? You have a loop that performs, and then within that loop, you have a loop, another loop that does perform something. Now, I think we looked at a nested loop, and I had asked you, well, how many times will it perform? Now, let's look at this one. Look at this for loop, which deal with minutes, 60, and seconds, 60. So, given all of this, how many times will it perform everything within here? Anybody? It's going from 0 to 60 here and 0 to 60 here. It would be 60 times 60 because what? For minutes, when minutes is 0, it got to do this from 0 to 60 for the first what? Minute. Do the seconds. Then minute is 1, it still got to go from 0 to 60 for the second, for that minute 1. Then when minute is 2, you got to fall in here and go from 0 to 60 seconds for the next minute. So you're doing 60 minutes, but within each minute, you're doing the 60 seconds, right? So that's 60 times 60. So most times with a loop, all right, let's do it like this. Let's do a loop. Okay, we'll do this. I'll take this out. Okay, I'll say for int x equals 0, x less than type x less than 5, x plus plus. Okay, then I'll do this and I'll do for int Y equals 3. Y less than, well, no, Y equals 0. I just start at 0 again. Y less than, I'll do less than 4. Y plus plus. And then what I'll do here is I'll do C out. I want to know how many times it will perform this loop. So what I'm gonna do here is say, I'll do, can I do it out here? I don't think that'll work because it's outside the loop. And let's say cell count. Cell count. Count. All right, CNT plus plus. All right, inline. So now, wait. Okay, yeah, right here. All right, so now, so all I'm doing is outputting, every time I go through that loop, I'm outputting count plus plus. So the first time it'll be 1, then whatever. So how many times, or how many times it will perform this, execute this loop, class? Anybody?
Is it
It
4?
will, huh?
Is it 4?
Cause look, 5, 4. Well, when 5 is 0, 4, 1, 4, and when X is 0, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5 kick out. So 5 times 4, which is 20. Everybody understand that? It's gonna perform this outer loop 5 times, but every 5 iteration of this loop, it'll perform this 4 times. So 5 times 4. Everybody understand that by nested loops? Right? Now, that's only if it's controlled, like in this fashion. You got what I'm saying? Because you might have, if you're doing whiles, then it's a little different. But a for is a count from whatever to whatever, right? So that's how this works. Let's debug it. All right. All right. See, so it went from 0 to 19. 0 to 19 is what? 20, right? So the first, and the reason why I did the 0, because I didn't do plus plus whatever. So I started at 0, but if I wanted to start here with 1, I'd have to do the pre-affix for that, and which would be plus plus before and let it give me the value at the time. So now when I run it, it's gonna do 1 to 20. Oh, it's not right here. See, 1 to 20. Everybody see that? Everybody see that? Now, I'm gonna show you something. Now, yeah, I'm in class right now. I'm gonna call you back. All right, when you, huh? Oh, all right. I'm gonna call you. All right, bye-bye. All right, so look, what I'll do here, I'll do something right here to show you every time I fell out of the loop of the four values. I'll do something like C out, inline, inline, inline. So that means what? Every time I fall into the first loop, then fall in the second one and print this, 4 times, I should have a double space. They're gonna start back over and do the same thing. So debug. Oh, I got it still open. So see what happened? What? It fell into this one, then it fell into this, then it 4 times, then what? Once it got out of this loop, double space. Had to go back here, X is 1 now. Do this 4 times, got out, double space. So you see 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Questions? Questions, anybody? All right. So the thing is, too, notice at this point, and I can say when you have those levels, it's best to do your curly braces and make sure you know where they are and that they match, they line up, because it makes your program much more easier to understand and debug. So now let's look at this. For this for loop that's nested, all of this information in between these curly braces belong to this for loop. But this for loop, everything within this curly brace belongs to it. So this for loop belongs to this, or is within it, and it's the part of the body of this for loop. And this C out is a part of what? This for loop. So everybody see that. See how it's broken out, where you got this is a part of this first for loop, and this is a part of this first for loop. Because if I would have taken this and I would have put this inside of this would have considerably changed my program. I would have gotten output, but watch the output that I get. Every time it goes in every time I'm in the nested loop, it's gonna perform the output double space, output double space, output double space. Then it went back, then what? Output double space, output double space, output double space. Went back, output double space. So you see how you, just by moving the double space, how it throws, and when I say the double space, I'm talking about this line here, how it throws your output off to be something different. I could take it and put it out here. Now, what happens if I put it out here? It's gonna perform this 5 times, this 4 times for every 1 time of that one, but it will not do the double space until what? Both of those loops have completed. So if you look at it now, you'll see all your information, and then after it output, then you'll get a double space. And if you look, see, it printed all the information. After it completed the loops, then you got a double space at the very end. So I moved that loop from here, within here, and within here, and you saw the different results that you got. So it becomes very important to understand and know where your block of information is and what your logic is actually doing, all right? Because otherwise, you're gonna start guessing, you're gonna start putting information in places, and your program is just gonna be all out of whack, all right? So you got to make sure you understand what's going on and where you can put information. And especially when you start using the cn.ignore and all this stuff, you have to make sure you understand what's going on in the program, all right? Any questions? Any questions? All right. They just dealing with fixing whatever. All right. This program is still dealing with the clock. Something different. But you got a loop within a loop. This is going from 1 to less than number of students. Okay. And this is going from 1 to the number of test scores. So what happens? If I'm inputting test scores, and I could do that right quick for you. Say if I was a teacher and I wanted to input test scores for students, all right? All right, say if I had, say, test score, okay. All right, what, I'll just say int test, all right? And I'll say int total, or not int total, int test scores total, and SNum, student num. All right, so I'm gonna be inputting a student number, a test score. All right, so now what happened is I could say, if I know how many students I have, I say say I've had 3 students, for int x equals 0, x less than 3, x plus plus, all right? And then if I had 3 test scores, I could say for int test, oh no, my fault, y equals 0, y less than 3, y plus plus. So now what happens here is, in this loop, well, I'll have to show you. For this loop, and this is before I get to the test score loop, the X is the student loop, and the Y is the test loop. So here I can do cout and a student number, all right? And then what? Oh, not here. And then cin, what it is, SNum, all right? So I'm gonna input the number, right? And I'll just do a inline to put a space. So now, then I'll fall into here, and for whatever, I'll say my total, well, I'll say cout I'll do enter, and why is this little trick? Test, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do x, well, not x, y plus 1, all right? And then I'll do something like this. And then I'll say cin, what it is, test, and I'll put test with an S. All right, so now, so I have that. So I'm not gonna output anything, but I'm gonna show you how to process, well, I do need the output, all right? So in here, I'm getting a total. So what happened, once I get a total, all right, well, no, I didn't even get the total yet. I need to do it here. So I need to, each time I read, I need to say total, remember, I need to change something, is equal to total plus test, right? Because every test I input, but I need to come up here and set my total to equal to 0. Remember I told you if you're using it on both sides and it doesn't know what it is at the beginning, it'll give you an error. Now, out here, I could output, I can do cout, and I could just, I'm gonna output it anyway. I said I want to output. I could output student. Number, and that's SNum, okay. And then I could output the total. I'm gonna just output a total. I could have done the average, but I'm gonna just output total.
I have a question.
Yes, I'm listening.
So for like the total equals total plus test, are you able to do plus equals a variable?
Yeah, right. I
Okay.
could have, right. But
Alright.
to keep it where people understand that it has to be on both sides of the equal, that's why I did it. But I could have
I
done
was just curious.
right, but I could have done plus equal test. Right, like that. And that'll work because that puts test on both sides. I mean, total on both sides of the equal. All right. So what this program going to do is going to allow me to input a student number. Then it's going to allow me to input 3 test scores. As I input the test scores, it's adding it to total because I'm staying in this loop right here. I'm adding it to total, adding it to total, adding it to total. All right. Once I've done all 3, then I fall out here. I could print my student number and my total for the test, which I could have printed the average also, by calculate. But I can't calculate the average in here. I'd have to calculate it what? Outside of this, correct? Right? Because I can't calculate the average while I'm adding the scores together. I have to make sure I get all the total scores, and then outside the loop, I would have to do average is equal to total divided by 3 or whatever. Right? Everybody understand? So let's run this. Let me add an inline right here to show you what I'm talking about. But with the so let's debug it. All right. So let's say enter student number. Say the first student number is 111 or 1111. See, enter test, and look where that 1 came from. That 1 came from y plus 1. Y is 0. It's starting at 0, but I'm saying 0 plus 1. It's not affecting y because I'm outputting y plus 1. Everybody understand? I'm not assigning anything to y to override it. I'm just saying whatever y is, print y plus 1, right? So enter test 1. So say they made a 90. Hit enter. Enter test 2. See, so it went back up. It added the total. You didn't see it add the total to the total, but it went back up here until y is greater than 3. It's not going to kick out. So say I'll put 100. Enter test 3, right? So now I'll put in, say another 100. So that should be 290. See here? Student number, 111. Total of test, 290. Then what? I have to put a second student and then what? A third student. So if I say 222, 2, then I'll put 100, 100, 100. All right. So see, I messed up. Who could tell me what I did wrong looking at this output? Looking at this is the first one, this is the second one. Who could tell me what's wrong with this?
It added it together, didn't it?
It added the first total to the second total, right?
Yes.
Like it added the 300 to the 290. Is that correct? Was it 300? Should have been 300. Why not? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. So, but this is wrong, right? Because if I try to do an average on 590, that person's gonna have well over an 8, correct? So how can I fix this? Anybody? Or what must I do? In general, what must I do? Like if I was doing my students' averages and what I'm just continually adding on to the total, what must I do in general? When I get to a new student, I need to do what? Start my total back at what?
Start it back at 0.
At 0. So what happens is, I could either do it before, like at the beginning of here, before I enter a new student and say total equals 0 inside of here, or I could do it after I print one student I'll just say total equals 0. So what happens? Once I print out the student number and the test score, I mean the total test, set total back to 0, then it goes back to here to see if the student counter is greater than 3, right? It's still less than 3. So now let's run it. All right. And like I say, those things happen in your program and cause an issue. So I'll do the 1, 1, 1, 1. Well, I forgot what scores we had 90, 100, and 100. Right? That's the first one. The next one, I'd say 2, 2, 2, 2, 100, 100, 100. See what happens? So now what? I know if I calculate the average for this student before I set it to 0, I would get the what? Correct average. Everybody understand that? So you see, it's important to know where and what is going on in your loops, because what? I want to input the student number. Then I want to input my scores and add them up. After that, I want to get out of that loop that doing it 3 times, and I want to output my student number and its total. But when I go to process a new student, I need to set all my values back to what? 0, especially if they're accumulating values, so that what? My student information can be calculated correctly. All right? So if I put 333 and I'll put 90, 90, 90, right? 270. Right? And notice what? It kicked out. It kicked out every 3 on this, and then at the 3rd student, it kicked out. Questions? Questions? Everybody understand though what happened, how, whatever. But this is writing using loops and then nested loops, and then kind of understanding and knowing where to put certain things. Because, like I say, dealing with loops and loops within loops, it can be confusing, and it can be just a simple statement out of place can cause a whole lot of issues. No syntax errors. You're getting output, but it's like the output that you're getting, logically, your statements are not in the right order. All right? Okay. So file storage. Now, this is what your assignments is on. What I'll do, I'll kind of try to run through this right quick. I know, man, it's time. Oh, man, it's time. All right. One of the, how would I say it? When you programming, one of the best things you would learn how to do is manipulate data from data files. When you start doing that and getting into that, I think the light will come on, and you'll pretty much see and understand how and why, computer science is what it is, and how you can take how important data is, because many times we don't really realize how important data is. We collect data, we collect it, but then we just have a whole bunch of data and we don't know what to do with it. Let me show you something. Look at this program. Looking at this program, well, this is out file. I'm gonna do an input. I want to do input file first. That's out file. Okay, out file. Well, we'll look at it. All right. So what happens is, just doing an out file, we'll do an input file. But if you notice here, you got a header file, F stream. You have to have it, F stream. In this main file, what they did, they created an OF stream object. We're going to create an IF stream object for input file. And we're going to give a file name, an input file object. But then you'd have to give a file name to go with that object that needs to be open and then read from that file. So let's try that, do that right quick. So if I go here, I'm going to close this out. And this time, I'll use this same program. Let's use the same program that we have here, all right? So we use this same program, But this time, what we'll do pound include, and I'll try to do it right quick, F stream. All right. Now, so in here now, what I can do here, I can do IF stream and create an object. And I say in file. It's just like creating a variable name. That's my input file object. Then I need to tell it what files. I'll say in file, all right, dot open. And then I need to give it a file name. By default, I know my default folder here. I'm gonna create a file in here called data, STU student data.txt. All right, I'll call it that, semicolon. So now, but I have this, but now I need to create the file. So what I need to do here, I need to go to, I need to get this right side open again. I can do, I'll do source, click on source, right click on source, add, new item, and I'll go to utilities, and then I'll create a text file, and now I'll call it, what I said, student STU data dot txt. All right. So, and I'll add it. So now I have a file. Now, watch this. I'm gonna put 1111. I'm gonna put 90, 100, 100. Or I could put it on the same line. It doesn't matter. Okay, 100, 100, 90, 90, 100, 100. 2222, 100, 100. I think I'm remembering. 3333, 90, 90, 90, 90. All right, so that was the data I had to input, correct? So now I go back to my source, and now what I need to do is everywhere I have my input, where I want to input, I won't use CN, and I could comment this out. I'm gonna comment this out, and rather than use CN now, I'm gonna use in file. All right, so that means I'm reading from a data file. All right, here, when I'm gonna comment this out, because I don't want to prompt the user for nothing. All right, then I'll use in file. All right, so now this should what? Read a name, read 3 test scores. Go back, read a name, read 3 test scores. Read the third name, read 3 test scores, and then end. Okay, let's look at this. Read a name, or not a name, a number, our student number, read 3 test scores. Read a number, read 3 test scores. Read a number, the third one, read 3 test scores, all right? I can have more, it doesn't matter. My loop says do it 3 times, but there's other things we look at to do this. But now watch how fast this program runs without me putting data in. Go debug. You see that, class? Saw what happened? I didn't put in anything while the program ran. The information was done what? The information was retrieved from where? From this particular file. Everybody see that? Questions? Hello?
No, sir.
All right, look. Student number, what it is? 1111, right? Student, the total of the grades are 90 plus 100 plus 100. Now, the beauty of that is, say you messed up, student test score, oh, they made a 99. So all I got to do is go back and run the program again. All right, I'm gonna go to debug and run it. See, 299. So what question you had? You say you didn't understand what happened. Hello? Who was that? Hello? Who had said something? Hello?
Not sure, Professor.
Oh, but everybody see what happened here. Now, I could have 100 100 student names, right? And all I have to do is what? Go back and change this 3 to 100. You understand what I'm saying? And it'll do 100 students with 3 test scores. And it'll read it from the file and do whatever. I don't have to sit at the keyboard and type the information in. It was typed in a text file, and that file was loaded somewhere, either on where I have access to that file, privileges to that file, and I can grab that data and process that data. Anybody understand? Hello? I think I lost some people. But everybody understand what went on?
Yes, sir.
The data was not inputted from the keyboard. Now, the thing is, how do you think a lot of these people deal with this, what they call it, when people just send you in junk mail, right? When you go to like the mall, oh, please sign up for this. Oh, you get a free pen, you get whatever, right? These people are collecting information. They collect that information, collect all that information. Then they sell your information to various companies, and companies can run reports or run, whatever they want against those files. Get your name, address, whatever, and that's when they start soliciting to you. And you're like, well, why I'm getting this and why that? Because your data have been sold, and it doesn't take much for them to write code, create labels, print thousands of labels at one time. Got your email address. They can send out buku emails in one just email with a template and whatnot. So stuff like that. That's how important information is, and people take that information and they can write code against it to do what they need to do with it. All right. Now, so class is over, and I done went way over. But on next class period, we're gonna look at that a little bit more, because there's a whole lot you can do. You could write this to an output file, where it's not written to the screen like you saw, it's written to a file, another file. All right, there's ways you could say read the input file until I get to the end of the file. So if I don't know how many records I have in a file, I can just read till I get to the end of the file and stuff like that. So there's many different things you can do. So next class period, like I say, I'll post the assignments. I'll just put a date on them, but they won't be required until the next class period. Because, like I say, you gotta work. You gotta be able to work. We're gonna go over it and look at it. But I want you to work with them to kind of have questions that you can bring to me when we have class. Okay. So I'll post those assignments, and then we can go. Because I know we don't went well past the time. Let's see something. Email. So let's look at this. I'll go to the next. Next. Let's do that. Good idea. Let's see. So I'll post which one we looked at? 5-1. Yeah, see, these don't have nothing to do with the input. I think it's the next two. Yeah, see, there's the input file. So I want you to look at those. The upper files you create on your computer. Let's see what this one is. Test it. Yeah, see, this one here, more or less, I think allows you to write one that's already created. And then the other one number 3 allows you to do one on your own. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna post these 3 assignments, and then you'll be able to work on them, and then we'll kind of continue on with the lecture where you can finish them up. All right. So let's see something here. So let's make this date. What today is? The day the 20th. This is March, April. So yeah. Oh well, they got to be due the 30th. Okay, they got to be due like. Oh man, I'm gonna have to grade those assignments on the 30th. Okay. Yeah. So after class period, I'll give you that time to let me I'll make it give me a time. I'll give you a couple of days after the 28th. So because I gotta grade them and get them in copy and paste. Okay. Save that one. Okay, the next one. I tell you what, I'll give you this one to do, and I won't give you the other one. All right, give you this example, so that you can work on that one. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, just following the instructions and creating a program. All right, so I'll give you those 2. All right, so I'll catch y'all on next class period. All right. Yeah, so that's it. No. Yep. Joe. Yeah. Okay, yep. All right. Yeah. And we'll pick up on next class period, and then we'll probably have that test. All right. So any questions?
No, sir, Professor. Can we just go over this again next week, like you said?
Right, but that was I'm gonna start with the files. And where we go, like I said, because you can do it until in the file. You can read from a file name, a particular given file name. You can write to a file. You know, all that. So we're gonna go over all that. Yeah. All
yes,
right,
sir. All right, Professor. Have a good one, man.
All right, y'all too, man.
Take care.
You're gonna need. Yeah, all right. You're gonna need that for that next 194.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Professor.
Have a good one.